In the realm of relationships, few experiences rival the pain of unreciprocated love. The hope that lingers after someone has lost interest can be intoxicating, leading us to believe that if we just try hard enough, we can reignite the spark and reclaim what was lost. However, this pursuit often leads to a cycle of frustration and disappointment. In this video, we'll explore why trying to win someone back after they've lost interest is rarely the best course of action. Our society often romanticizes the idea of fighting for love, portraying it as a noble and heroic act. We're bombarded with movies, songs, and books that glorify the notion of never giving up, no matter the odds. While persistence can be admirable in many contexts, when it comes to matters of the heart, it's crucial to recognize when it's time to let go. The truth is, relationships are complex and multifaceted. They require mutual respect, effort, and most importantly, genuine interest from both parties. When one person begins to lose interest, it's often a sign that the relationship is no longer meeting their needs or desires. Attempting to win them back without addressing the underlying issues is unlikely to lead to a fulfilling and lasting reconciliation. By focusing on why the relationship ended and learning from the experience, we can grow and become better partners in future relationships. It's important to remember that letting go doesn't mean we've failed. Rather, it's a courageous act of self-love and acceptance. Join me as we delve into the art of moving on and discover why sometimes the best way to find true happiness is to let go of the past. Chapter 2. Understanding relationship dynamics. To understand why it's unwise to try to win someone back after they've lost interest, we must first examine the dynamics of relationships. Relationships are intricate webs of emotions, experiences, and expectations. They are built on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and communication. When one person begins to lose interest, it's often a sign that this foundation has been compromised. Relationships require effort from both parties to thrive. They need to be nurtured and cared for, much like a delicate plant. When one person starts to withdraw their effort, the relationship can quickly deteriorate. This can happen for a variety of reasons, such as changes in priorities, differences in values, or simply falling out of love. Attempting to win someone back in this situation is akin to trying to revive a plant that has already withered. It's important to recognize that relationships, like plants, have a natural life cycle. They go through stages of growth, maturity, and eventually, decay. While it's natural to want to hold on to the past and try to recreate what once was, doing so can prevent us from moving forward and finding new, fulfilling relationships. By accepting the end of a relationship and focusing on our own growth and happiness, we can open ourselves up to new possibilities. Sometimes, the end of one relationship is the beginning of a new and more fulfilling chapter in our lives. Join me as we explore why letting go can be the first step towards a brighter future filled with love and happiness. Chapter 3. The illusion of winning someone back. When someone we care about loses interest in us, it's natural to want to do whatever it takes to regain their affection. However, this desire is often rooted in fear and insecurity rather than genuine love. We may fear being alone, fear rejection, or fear that we'll never find someone else who makes us feel the way they did. This fear can cloud our judgment and lead us to believe that winning them back is the only path to happiness. We convince ourselves that if we just try a little harder, say the right things, or make grand gestures, they'll suddenly realize what they've been missing and come back to us. Unfortunately, this is rarely the case. The truth is, trying to win someone back is often an exercise in futility. Even if we were to succeed, the relationship would likely be fraught with the same issues that led to its demise in the first place. Relationships require mutual effort and commitment, and if one person has already checked out, it's unlikely that anything we do will change their mind. Furthermore, by focusing all our energy on trying to win back someone who has lost interest, we're depriving ourselves of the opportunity to move on and find someone who truly values and appreciates us. It's important to remember that our worth is not dependent on someone else's opinion of us. We are deserving of love and happiness, and sometimes, the best way to find that is to let go of the past and embrace the future with an open heart and mind. Join me as we delve deeper into the illusion of winning someone back and discover why true happiness lies in letting go. Chapter 4. The Path to Healing. After a breakup, it's natural to experience a range of emotions, from sadness and anger to confusion and longing. However, it's important to allow ourselves the time and space to heal. Healing from a breakup is a process that takes time and patience, but it's a necessary step towards moving on and finding happiness. One of the first steps on the path to healing is acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean we're okay with what happened or that we're happy about it. It simply means acknowledging the reality of the situation and allowing ourselves to grieve the loss of the relationship. This can be a painful process, but it's an essential part of moving forward. Another important aspect of healing is self-care. This means taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It can involve activities such as exercise, meditation, spending time with loved ones, and engaging in hobbies we enjoy. Self-care helps us to nurture ourselves and rebuild our sense of self-worth and confidence. Healing also involves letting go of any lingering attachments to the past. This can be challenging, especially if we're still holding on to hope of reconciliation. However, letting go doesn't mean forgetting about the person or the relationship. It simply means releasing the emotional hold they have on us and allowing ourselves to be open to new experiences and relationships. By embarking on the path to healing, we can begin to rebuild our lives and create a future filled with happiness and fulfillment. Join me as we explore the importance of healing after a breakup and discover how it can lead us to a brighter tomorrow. Chapter 5. Building self-worth. One of the most challenging aspects of moving on after a breakup is rebuilding our self-worth. When someone we care about loses interest in us, it can shake our confidence and make us question our value. However, it's important to remember that our worth is not defined by our relationships or the opinions of others. Building self-worth begins with self-love. This means treating ourselves with kindness, compassion, and respect. It involves acknowledging our strengths and accomplishments, no matter how small, and recognizing that we are deserving of love and happiness. Another important aspect of building self-worth is setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential in all relationships, including the one we have with ourselves. They help us establish what we will and will not tolerate, and they protect us from being taken advantage of or mistreated. Self-care is also crucial in building self-worth. Taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental well-being sends a powerful message to ourselves that we are valuable and deserving of love. This can involve activities such as exercise, meditation, spending time with loved ones, and engaging in hobbies we enjoy. Finally, building self-worth involves challenging negative beliefs about ourselves. We often internalize negative messages from past relationships or experiences, but these beliefs are not necessarily true. By questioning these beliefs and replacing them with positive affirmations, we can begin to see ourselves in a more positive light. By focusing on self-love, setting boundaries, practicing self-care, and challenging negative beliefs, we can rebuild our self-worth and emerge from a breakup stronger and more resilient than before. Join me as we explore the power of self-worth and discover how it can transform our lives for the better. Chapter 6. Embracing change. Change is an inevitable part of life, and nowhere is this more evident than in relationships. When a relationship ends, it can feel like the end of the world. However, it's important to recognize that endings are also beginnings. They signal a new chapter in our lives, full of new possibilities and opportunities for growth. Embracing change means letting go of the past and being open to what the future holds. It means recognizing that the end of a relationship does not define us, but rather, it is an opportunity for us to redefine ourselves and our priorities. One of the first steps in embracing change is accepting the reality of the situation. This can be challenging, especially if we're still holding on to hope of reconciliation. However, accepting the end of a relationship allows us to begin the healing process and move forward with our lives. Another important aspect of embracing change is being willing to step out of our comfort zones. Change often requires us to do things differently, to try new things, and to take risks. While this can be scary, it can also lead to new and exciting opportunities that we may not have otherwise experienced. Finally, embracing change involves having faith in ourselves and our ability to navigate the uncertainties of life. It means trusting that we have the strength and resilience to overcome whatever challenges come our way. By embracing change, we can open ourselves up to a world of possibilities and create a future that is rich and fulfilling. Join me as we explore the power of embracing change and discover how it can transform our lives for the better. Chapter 7. Learning from the past. While it's natural to want to move on quickly after a breakup, it's also important to take the time to reflect on the relationship and learn from the experience. Every relationship, no matter how short or long, teaches us valuable lessons about ourselves and what we want and need in a partner. One of the first steps in learning from the past is examining the reasons why the relationship ended. This can be a painful process, but it's essential for gaining closure and moving forward. It's important to be honest with ourselves about our role in the relationship's demise and to take responsibility for our actions. Another aspect of learning from the past is identifying patterns in our relationships. Do we tend to attract the same type of person? Do we repeat the same mistakes? By recognizing these patterns, we can begin to break free from unhealthy relationship dynamics and make better choices in the future. Learning from the past also involves forgiving ourselves and our ex-partner. Holding on to anger, resentment, or regret only hinders our ability to move forward. By practicing forgiveness, we can release the emotional baggage of the past and open ourselves up to new and healthier relationships. Finally, learning from the past means taking the lessons we've learned and applying them to future relationships. This can involve setting boundaries, communicating effectively, and being true to ourselves and our needs. By taking the time to learn from the past, we can turn a painful experience into an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Join me as we explore the power of learning from our past relationships and discover how it can help us create happier and more fulfilling relationships in the future. Chapter 8. Letting go of control. One of the biggest challenges we face after a breakup is letting go of the desire to control the outcome of the situation. When someone we care about loses interest in us, it's natural to want to do whatever we can to change their mind. However, this desire for control often stems from fear and insecurity rather than genuine love. Trying to control someone else's feelings or actions is not only futile but also damaging to our own well-being. It prevents us from accepting the reality of the situation and moving forward with our lives. It's important to remember that we cannot force someone to love us or to want to be in a relationship with us. Letting go of control involves accepting that we cannot control how others feel or behave. It means relinquishing the need to constantly seek validation from others and instead focusing on validating ourselves. This can be a liberating experience, as it allows us to let go of the pressure to be perfect or to constantly seek approval from others. One way to let go of control is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches us to live in the present moment and to accept things as they are, without judgment or attachment. By practicing mindfulness, we can learn to let go of our need to control and to find peace and acceptance in the present moment. Another way to let go of control is to focus on what we can control, our own actions and reactions. Instead of trying to change someone else's feelings, we can focus on being the best version of ourselves and living our lives authentically. By letting go of control, we can free ourselves from the grip of fear and insecurity and open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities for growth. Join me as we explore the power of letting go and discover how it can transform our lives for the better. Chapter 9. Seeking closure. Closure is an important aspect of moving on after a breakup. It involves finding a sense of resolution and acceptance about the end of the relationship, which can help us to heal and move forward with our lives. While closure is often thought of as something we need to get from our ex-partner, it's important to recognize that closure ultimately comes from within. One way to seek closure is to reflect on the relationship and what we learned from it. This can involve acknowledging the good times we shared, as well as the challenges we faced. By reflecting on the relationship in this way, we can gain a deeper understanding of why it ended and what we can take away from the experience. Another way to seek closure is to express our feelings, whether through writing, talking to a trusted friend, or even speaking directly to our ex-partner, if appropriate. Expressing our feelings can help us to process our emotions and gain a sense of closure. It's also important to recognize that closure is a process, not a one-time event. It may take time to fully come to terms with the end of the relationship and to find closure. It's important to be patient with ourselves and to allow ourselves the time and space to heal. Seeking closure is ultimately about finding peace and acceptance about the end of the relationship. It's about letting go of any lingering attachments to the past and embracing the future with an open heart and mind. By seeking closure, we can begin to heal from the pain of the breakup and move forward with our lives. Join me as we explore the power of seeking closure and discover how it can help us to find peace and acceptance after a breakup. Chapter 10. Conclusion. In conclusion, trying to win someone back after they've lost interest is often a futile endeavor. Relationships require mutual effort and commitment, and if one person has already checked out, it's unlikely that anything we do will change their mind. Instead of focusing on trying to win back someone who has lost interest, it's important to focus on ourselves and our own healing and growth. Moving on after a breakup can be a challenging process, but it's also an opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. By letting go of the past and embracing the future with an open heart and mind, we can create a future that is rich and fulfilling. It's important to remember that our worth is not defined by our relationships or the opinions of others. We are deserving of love and happiness, and sometimes, the best way to find that is to let go of the past and embrace the future with optimism and hope. I hope this video has been helpful in providing insight into why trying to win someone back after they've lost interest is often not the best course of action. Remember, the end of one relationship is not the end of the world. It's the beginning of a new chapter in your life, full of new possibilities and opportunities for growth. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best on your journey to healing and finding true happiness. Remember, you are worthy of love and happiness, and you deserve nothing less.